Welcome back. How's everybody doing? So, like I said in my last video, I've got like maybe an hour today to do this until my dude gets back. He's helping somebody put a gable on a house. I don't really know. I don't know what the heck that is. I would assume it's like some sort of beam or something. But I'm just gonna keep putting my videos up for now, and we'll go from there. I don't know if you guys like Mr. Rogers, but it's all good in the hood. Okay, so where I was at, I'm using this tip, and I'm at 15 watts. True Art pens are pretty freaking awesome. I really like this pen, and I have like, I'm not even joking, a lot of pens. I have, I think, not pens, wood burners. I have like, here's one of them, 5 maybe. And it was, I went through at least 5 to find good ones. This True Art one has been my favorite thus far. So what I was talking about before is the fact that you don't want to push too hard because your color will actually get erased. So the other thing that I found out is if you let this cool down, like say I'm working right here, between the time my last video was put up and just now when I started this one, when I go to do this, it's cooled down and it like is scraping the color off, and I'm barely touching it. So something good to know is that get it done while it's still warm, basically. I'm gonna set this down. I'm gonna get a piece of gum, switch them out. For anyone who's watching that may know me, I don't know, I quit vaping recently and I'm chewing some nicotine gum. So it's definitely great not to have to vape, but it's a hard habit. It's a hard habit to break, especially when you do crafts. If you're a vapor, it's sort of like your you time. So when I'm doing crafts, I'm like vape all the time. But it feels great having no monkey other than this gum. Okay. So I don't know what I want to do next. I think I'm gonna just work my way from the top down. So what I usually do is I look at the spaces, you know, like if I'm looking at this, I've got a dip right here. So there's gonna be shading right in that area because this is a higher point. So if the sun is up here, like you can do your sun wherever you want. Let's see, on this one, the sun is over here, I think, like right here. And in front of him, so like right here. But wherever your sun is, whatever's closest to that is gonna have less shading, it's gonna create shadows. So let's do the sun from this angle. So this side is gonna be a darker shadow. They're both gonna have shadows because even where the sun shines, the cow's shape creates shadows. So the sun could be shining directly on it, but it's not gonna look like a slab of like, it's still gonna have depth. So you wanna look at the way the cow is shaped or the way the animal is shaped, and it will give you hints as to where the shadows should be. So this is for like super beginners. Obviously if you have drawn, you know this, but I like talking about it because it took me a really long time to be able to shade effectively, and I think it's because I didn't understand sort of like why I was shading where I was shading. Like I was good at it, but it didn't look right, you know? Okay, so this is again one of the hardest parts for me is figuring out where to go. So I'm gonna go next to all my lines. I'm gonna shade down a little bit. Cows are awesome, you guys. I don't know if you've ever been around a cow, but they're hilarious and they're assholes and they're fun. So I used to show horses. When I showed horses, it's kind of different because they work with you. Like you ride them and they follow cues and stuff like that. But with cows, they're just like, nope, I'm not moving. You have to actually use a little pokey stick thing, and you have to like, it literally looks like a fire poker, and you like on the bottom of their stomach to make them like stand up straight, and you have to like smack them a lot to get them to walk. I used to see kids all the time just like yanking on their cows at the fair. It's just kind of funny. So I'm erasing my pencil lines here on the side because they will actually change the way the wood burn looks, because the wood burn will pick up on the graphite and then it looks gray. So I don't want it to look gray, so I'm gonna kind of erase some of my stuff. If you haven't watched any of my other videos, these erasers are amazing. It is a eraser tip there, and this is just a button. Has AA batteries, and you just push the button and it erases for you. Pretty freaking cool. So if you're drawing, it's way better because you don't have to ruin the whole picture just to erase one spot. Okay. I'm really not used to this lighter heat setting. It's really throwing me off. Normally I would have this like half the way done already, but I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to make the light spots too dark. Again, like what I told you before, if your picture is completely dark, like all of it is really dark, even if there's differences in the shading, it's gonna look just kind of blobby. So you want to have a lot of depth. Like you want your darkest dark and your lightest light to be like 10 steps away from each other on the color or the shade scale. So like if my darkest color is this right here and my lightest color is this, that's close to a good amount of space. But if my lightest color is this right here, right next to that, it's gonna be too dark. Too dark. Okay. Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Burning through the sky, yeah. 200 degrees, that's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. So I think once I get this shading evened out, because this is just kind of whatever on there, once I even out the shading on here, I think his stomach, the back side of his stomach, is actually going to be the lightest area, other than these 3 points at the top. Because if you've ever seen an animal out in the sun, they're sort of reflective. Like their fur is very reflective. So wherever their smoothest areas are tend to be a lot brighter. So his smoothest area is probably his tum-tum and his backbones. So I think that's what I'm gonna do with this. And for me, I just work my way through the different areas with the shading. I don't really lay it out beforehand. I mean, I draw it obviously, but I only draw the main shade points. So I've got this and this, and I think a couple lines were drawn on my outline, like this line right here. Other than that, I just sort of go with it, see how it comes out. I think I might need to actually turn this thing up. It's driving me crazy. I'm not patient enough. I am. I'm gonna turn it up. We'll see what happens. All right, I'll see you in a minute.